Welcome everyone. Sorry for the delay. I accidentally told Erika the wrong time.
Oh, you're so sweet. That's so cute.
It's totally my fault. But we have a really great session planned for you today. Little bit about REI Systems. So we're a custom software development shop working for the federal government. Our specialties is grants management solutions, open government transparency solutions, and we also work for NASA as well, doing kind of grants and funding related tracking and investment data. So today we have Erika Flora. She's joining us. She's an awesome everything from IT project management, ITIL, Scrum, Agile. She's a DevOps coach. I met her at the Excella meetup a couple months ago, and got to talk to her, and really just based on our conversations, really wanted her to come out and talk about her collaborative Scrum games that she's really passionate about. So without further ado, I'll hand you over to her and she'll kind of lead us.
Take it away.
Yes. So hand for Erika.
So how much time do we have?
We have about an hour.
Okay, perfect. So here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to each grab a small stack of Post-its. You just need a couple of Post-its. And what I want you to do, I want you to write your name across the top, and I want you to draw an avatar, something that describes yourself. It can look like you, doesn't have to look like you. It can be hobbies, where you're from, where you went to school, your favorite, whatever. And we've got some markers at each of the tables too.
Just an avatar or a name and
Put your name and then draw some sort of an avatar, some way that you want to describe yourself. Does anybody need markers? Bring the markers. Sure, or pens, whatever. Everybody got markers, pens. Well, that's going to work out really handy, and you'll see why in 1 second. So you've got about 1 more minute. Don't have to be good at drawing, but I do need to see some awesome avatars.
something. A little bit of hair on the side.
It's an avatar, not a work of art.
It's a compound of.
It can be compound, it can be complex.
Don't get worried.
Oh, really? All right, everybody got a good avatar? Okay, has anyone ever played low-tech social network? Has someone played that before with their teams? Ooh, okay, so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna put our Post-it notes one by one up on this big whiteboard. And instead of like LinkedIn, Facebook, or anything like that, we're gonna go real low-tech. So I'm going to introduce myself first, and then what I want you to do is put your avatar up here in whatever order you guys want to come up here. And then I want you to draw a line if there's anything that we have in common, yeah? And we'll see like what we've got in common between us. So my name is Erika. That is a really sad drawing of the state of Florida.
That's what
You
it
knew
was.
it? I did. I grew up, well, that looks like Tallahassee. I actually grew up in Tampa, which is like down there, kind of in the middle. And my family still lives in Sarasota. I went to University of Florida. Go Gators! Oh, poor Gators. I studied microbiology. I got my undergrad and my graduate degree there, and then became a microbiologist, and I was like, I hate this. This is horrible. Lived in Arkansas as a microbiologist. Also realized I did not like living in Arkansas. And through some happy accidents, became an IT project manager in Arizona. Lived there for, gosh, probably about 10 years. Then moved to San Diego, lived there for about 5 years, and now have been in DC for about 7. So that's me. I have a cat named Oscar. He's a rag doll, if anyone's familiar with that kind of cat. Really, really friendly, thinks he's a dog. I have a little puppy. She's about 4 months old. Her name is Maggie, and she's a monster. She's a little English setter. And then we have a Rhodesian Ridgeback. Everybody's familiar with that. She's about nearly 100 pounds now. Still a puppy. She's about 11 months. So they pretty much tear my house apart when I'm not watching them. So that's me. Whoever wants to come up and put your avatar, introduce yourself. You don't have to give, be as verbose as I was. I was just trying to give you guys some ideas on connections. But yeah, put your avatar up here, and then I want you to draw a line, and then on that line, write what the connection is. Yeah? All right, so whoever would like to come up, and let's use these pens on the whiteboard so we don't end up with that going on.
Hi, I'm Lisa, and my avatar is me riding a bicycle, because I like cycling, and I like reading books, so those are books. And I relate to you, I'm a Scrum Master at Penny Day. I relate to you because I'm from Florida.
Yay, we're in Florida.
I grew up in Fort Lauderdale
Oh,
suburbs,
fantastic.
and I went to University of Florida.
Yay.
I don't have any cancer dogs, so that'll probably be
Hello, my name is Ella. This is my avatar here. This is what my hair looks like on a rainy day. and this is me a little tutu because I like to work out by going to bar class. And I relate to Lisa for the up here. She likes to cycle, but for workout I like to walk. Okay. And I'm also a Scrum Master at Anime.
Yay.
This table's going. Pressure here.
Hi, I'm Chris. I also work at Fannie Mae. My avatar is a fish because I like to fish. I like to spend a lot of time on the west coast of Canada where my parents live, and we do a lot of fishing out there. So connections. I have some connections with Erika because after I finished my master's degree in international affairs, I said, yuck, I hate this.
Yay.
And so I'm going to put a little yuck here. And also, we all know what it means, right? So, and then I became a project manager by a happy series of coincidences. So I'm going to write happy. I'm also connected to Lisa and to Ella because we all work at Fannie Mae.
Come on.
Okay. Hey, I'm Dave. I have a wife and a 3-year-old daughter. I like board games. In fact, 2008, I founded a book club / game club. So I'm going to put myself here, and I'm going to connect myself with Lisa, who likes books, right? So here's my little line.
What's the club called?
It's called Geek Talk.
Yay.
So we talk about, and it's actually not just books, we occasionally do movies or TV shows in the style that you would discuss a book, what we talked about, Firefly, or, as if it was a book, where that kind of depth of understanding people know Firefly. So, but I'm gonna write books. This marker is, oh, there it goes. And then I'm also gonna connect myself to Chris, because we have a mutual friend. I'm just gonna write lead, and then in parentheses, S. And then you'll have to continue that.
I will.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, go. I was gonna say, I'm gonna jump in. Okay. I'm Mary.
hair's not as bright red as it used to be, but I've always been known for bright red curly hair. All right, so I have been in a book club for 22 years, so
Wow.
The same one?
yeah.
Oh my word. That is commitment.
And I have a dog.
Can we have a hair connection?
You have to have your hair connection.
Oh, that's right, that's right. Should we say redhead or ginger?
Really fun.
Ginger seems to be the current,
Is it, can we somehow spin off of the previous book connection? Because she's connecting to my book club.
Sure. Yeah. You guys can do whatever.
Transitivity, or do you have to draw another line?
You can do either. It's totally up to you guys.
All right. No set
Wanna get it
protocol.
right, Erica. Oh shit, I want to look in that car.
I'm gonna jump up because I don't want to draw more lines.
You're gonna have like 14 lines already.
I know. All right. So my name is Carrie. My avatar is a bicycle because I also love cycling, indoors and outdoors. I'm Canadian. I tell everybody that because I'm told all Canadians tell people that. I used to work at Fannie Mae. I have 4 children. I have a dog. I have a husband.
Do I get a
So
line for that?
Yeah, seriously.
you get a line for that, of course. So there you go. You'll even get a heart. I am connected with Lisa through all sorts of ways, books. I'll just write plus. What's that? And now games. Lisa and I are friends and play games and read books and eat food and all sorts of things. I am connected with Erika through training from the back of the room and dogs and the yuck of spending far too much time in school for something you hate doing. Let's see, Ella, I'm trying here, Ella. I'm going to do the workout connection with Ella. And, well, Chris, we already did. Dave, can I just draw right through here?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Dave and I are actually connected through the Lee connection. And of course, Agile Nonsense.
Who's this Lee character? Is he here?
That's a last
There's
name,
their
actually.
last name. And
Oh,
again,
okay.
Mark and Marjorie.
the bracket asks, right? Is that what you did?
Yeah.
And then Mary is definitely the book club
Book club.
connection. Although I actually have a sense that my book club will be get together as long as yours has, but it's been about 10 years now. So.
Yeah.
And
20 years.
that's it.
I hope for that. That's awesome.
That's great.
Maybe a new
Do
one.
you guys want a different color? Yeah, let's use this red one. Spice it up a little bit.
Hello, I'm Matthias. My avatar is clouds and sun. I hope that's what that looks like. Mostly because I've just been thinking a lot about, with the weather, I've been thinking a lot about the darkness and the light and how to deal with both things and not to get overcome by either. And
So it's not a tick with mouse ears.
what was that?
I was teasing.
He's also worried about Lyme.
Yeah, so
Go to start again.
I'm gonna redo that drawing. So I am a project manager, agile coach with REI, and I have connections to, well, Carrie, who, wow, we've been on so many adventures together in the agile world, and
Agile Adventures.
agile adventures.
It's a good company.
That's
And
cool.
then I know David from the Agile in Government circles, and we met at Agile DC. And I really love fishing, so I'm gonna connect myself to Chris because I dig the fish avatar, and I can draw other connections, but I'll leave the board open for you guys.
I'll go. My name is Scott, and I have a very unimaginative avatar. But I'll ask you to imagine, I used to have long red hair. So I'm going to connect to Mary. Probably also, I think, Mateus, I've been at a dozen meetups with you, so I'm going to connect myself that way.
And then if you would, just write the connection on the line, what it is, yeah.
And I worked at Fannie for 2 years, and I'm not sure how many lines I can draw there. I think I'll just draw one and let Chris cover it, okay? And Fannie. And I'm not sure that's about it, maybe.
Alright, so my name is Kishore. I work for OST. This is my avatar. Just doing a little bit of meditation and yoga. Alright, so most connections I can make maybe to Ella, a little bit of workout here. I do some workout, and maybe Lisa also. She does some workout here, and Carrie also workout, and then I can make some connections anywhere else here because I'm involved in the agile world for quite a long time. So maybe.
I love it.
Awesome.
Who else? Any more folks?
Hi, I'm Melissa. My avatar is a cat, so I'm going to connect up to Erika with the cat.
What's your cat's name?
I have 2 cats, Bella and Jake. They're brother and sister. They're rescues.
I'm a rescue cat. You can go on.
He's like, I'm a rescue cat. I was like,
No, I have one. I have one.
Yeah,
It's debatable, I suppose. But
So I also volunteer with the Humane Society of Loudoun County, so I do a lot of animal rescue stuff that way too. I'm connected also to the book club people. I run a women's book club in Leesburg, so I think this was book club. Oh, my line's bad. There, and books over here. And then I'm also connected to Matthias through work. I work as a contractor here at REI. And I also lived in Florida for 6 months in Fort Myers. I hated it.
Can go, yeah.
Yeah, I was doing that. So yeah, that's a roundabout way there.
love it. What else do we have? There's a
Right,
green marker if you
I'll
want
go
to
after
change it up a
you.
little bit. I know.
can I take a quick observation? We ended up having 2 connections to Erika, which is kind of interesting. Usually we've...
Oh,
No, well,
Oh, to the same person?
right, so what we've been doing so far, I think, is like, oh, I made a connection to that person, I named one thing that I have in common with them, and I stopped. And I think, maybe this is the point, I'm jumping ahead, sorry if I am.
No, go for
But a
it.
lot of times it's like, oh, I met this person, we work together, and we have this one thing in common. Bam, done. All right, I don't need to know anything more about you. Whereas sometimes we persevere, we have multiple connections. That's kind of cool, thanks.
Isn't that neat? We are complex humans, turns out.
What?
Might have
I thought
more
I was
than
the
one
only
thing in common.
one.
So I'm Ryan. I'm a software engineer at Paraton. I always like challenges, so my avatar is a bunch of light rays. After each challenge, I get through a different light ray. in my life. Some challenges are basic, I don't learn as much. The bike is smaller, they're harder, they're bigger. So the arrow kind of points to kind of direction of where I want to go in my life and what kind of challenges I want to face and what I want to learn. So depending on the decisions I make. I guess I'm connected to Carrie because I like to ride bikes, and Lisa. I also like fishing, so Chris.
But the word.
Oh.
On the line. Yeah, perfect.
I don't think I have any more off the top of my head. So.
That's great. Who else do we have? There's a few more folks, right? Any
Yeah.
more?
Yeah, I'm John. My avatar is just simply glasses, specifically off of these. I just got these today in the mail. These are so cool. They're designed to block blue light to help you like sleep better. So it just helps me feel so much more relaxed. I don't know if that's just psychological or like, but you know, I think they're cool. So I mean, you know, I can draw a connection to Carrie because of my I also enjoy riding bikes and Lisa and the bike thing. Not to be redundant, but
Cyclist.
She's a turning club.
and yeah, I mean, you know, I like reading books, but I'm not in a book club, so I guess I'm disqualified. That's all I got.
That's great. Here I got one more.
Did I? Okay.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, come on up.
Hello, my name is Jay. Actually, I'm working in IT from last 2 decades. You know, I'm in cyber infrastructure, Agile. So pretty much my actually passion is, you know, I created an e-learning portal where I'm helping the kids to learn coding. Also, I help some people who wants to enter in IT. I definitely like biking, so like to connect here. I know a bunch of people here from Fannie Mae, they all, and some other, you know, I would like to connect more who are from the Agile world because I'm working more and trying to get some more certifications. So it's always good to connect. So bunch of people here, I think in some way I have to connect with everyone because that's a common, you know. I don't know how to do that, but yeah, it's good to see everyone here.
Awesome. Excellent job, guys.
Yeah.
Give yourself a round of applause. So Dave, I'm really glad you brought that up. What are some things that you guys took away from this?
Everybody is connected to some other person in some way or another.
Yeah.
So we're all like part of the big family in some ways.
Oh, I like that a lot. Yeah.
Well, I learned about some connections after somebody spoke, but I never drew it because the way we were developing this.
Yeah, and what you might do with a team is as people are introducing themselves, you may go back and do, you know, draw in more things. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. You could even, you know, you could even keep this up on the wall if you've got a team that's sticking together for a while, and you may find out, you know, in a couple weeks, oh, we also have this other connection and this other connection. And if you have new people that join the team, then you can include them and link them, and yeah.
Yeah, you can always find a connection. That's something I took away with, even though you may have different backgrounds.
I learned about these glasses. Now, do you wear them all the time?
No, I just got them today.
But you've been wearing them all day?
Yeah, I drove over with them on and yeah, everything worked great. I could drive better, I guess.
Wow, all right.
But it's supposed to help you sleep.
Yeah, I know, but I just feel so much more relaxed and I guess mentally I can just focus so much easier. 'cause
He's
I'm
actually
not-
been sleeping all day.
He slept while someone drove. What else? What else did you guys take from this? Either Is this something you might use? Is this something?
That's a great icebreaker.
Right? Yeah.
And just who would have guessed, right, that there'd be so many connections, and that we'd be half cyclists. Like, you look around and you don't think half cyclists.
Right. If I saw you guys in bike clothes, then I'd be like, maybe.
Or you'd be like, wrong.
Right? Yeah, I've been part of like kickoff meetings and things like that where you say, oh, what's your fun fact? And that gets a little bit below the surface, but something like this, you find, oh my gosh, I'm connected to everyone in 2 or 3 or 4 different ways. Anything else you guys kind of took from
I guess
this?
everyone originally kind of wanted to do something with their lives, but then changed their minds later on and decided that, whatever they were trying to do wasn't for them, so.
Yeah, there's beauty in the yuck.
Yeah.
I have planted the idea of Scrum Master as a career opportunity for elementary school students, I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but like most people, you
I
would
know.
expect,
I know,
to be doing
exactly.
what they're doing now back in.
No, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny where life kind of takes you on this path you don't expect? Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I heard a lot of stories of people too, which you don't normally get when you first meet with folks. So this kind of game allows you to go deeper immediately with folks. Cool. Awesome. Has anyone here played a game called Unproblem? Is anyone familiar with that? Is anyone familiar with this book? I think this book is knees. Anybody seen this book before?
No.
Okay, so, a couple people have? Cool. Well, I'm going to give away a free copy. Because I was late, I was like, but I don't want to forget my book to give away. So if you guys want to just scratch your name, maybe email address on it, on a Post-it, and then we'll put it in some sort of a container.
Oh, I have.
Oh my
I have
gosh,
the
you brought a
sign of
hat.
yours.
What?
I don't know if that disqualifies me.
No, that,
What does-
man, I didn't travel with a hat like that. That's great. You come with a fishbowl.
Oh yeah, I guess we have to fold our Post-its. in
Yeah,
half.
just fold it up a
Oh,
little
he pulled a
bit.
bowler hat out.
Throw it in
That's
the hand.
impressive.
Rabbit neck.
I just,
This book, for those of you that don't win, more of you won't win than you win. For those of you that don't win, if you buy this book, it's $30 on Amazon. It's totally worth it. I got introduced to this book by a Scrum Master probably like 10 years ago, and I read it cover to cover, and it's awesome. And
she
my
folded it
copy
in
is
like-
all dog-eared, and I've tried a lot of these games, and they're fantastic. Have you tried this stuff? It's so good. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with this book. Even like 10 years later, I'm obsessed with this book.
Mine's
did I get yours, Jay?
What's that?
How was the author?
His name is Dave Gray. Dave Gray.
Jay, I'm just, so we're doing this publicly. I'm folding yours in half so it doesn't stick. That's cheating.
Nobody can
You can't rip it in half.
Same thing for it?
Yes.
For it, all right. And I think the rest of them are non-sticky, okay.
Cool. Awesome. All right. So big winner. Big winner. Must be present to win.
And so is Erika,
Yeah.
you reminded people when they forgot to write the connection on the line. And is that what, like I can imagine that there are some reasons for that, right? Especially if you're keeping it up, right? So that it's not, oh yeah, what was the connection? Why else are you having people?
So when you write it, you make it easier for other people to add. It's just a visual cue.
Right.
Oh, where was the fishing? Where were the bikes? Your avatar may not necessarily clue the person in as to what the connection is.
Right.
But then, yeah, if you're keeping it up, it's just a really good reminder of, oh, we all ride bikes. We should totally ride bikes together.
Yeah, you didn't really make visual, but you mentioned it so people could see.
Yep.
Yeah, and then it.
Yeah, so it's all about just making it visual. Yeah. And to add to that, to play, hundreds and hundreds of different games, all you really need are a stack of Post-its. And if you don't even have a stack of Post-its, there's other games you can play with just markers and pieces of paper. Even just without any materials, you can play games. And if we have time, we'll maybe try some of those as well. But yeah, with a stack of Post-its, you can do anything. You can kind of move your ideas around, and you can brainstorm, you can prioritize, and Post-its are just awesome. I'm sure a lot of you guys use Post-its every day with your teams. They're just kind of amazing, and real simple way to organize your thoughts, move them around, and yeah. So, big winner, without further ado, drum roll please. But I highly recommend for those of you that are interested in playing more games with your team, just really simple book, Game Storming. Also, if you go to, I think it's gamestorm.com, lots and lots of games are also listed free online. Innovationgames.com is another really good site. Tasty Cupcakes.
Oh, Tasty Cupcakes.
TastyCupcakes.org or something like that.
And Game Simon Plays.
Game Simon Plays, okay. Yeah, lots of really cool ideas, ways that you can make games visual. So we're gonna play another game, and I'm gonna need you guys to get out your Post-it notes again. So we got our method of, I don't know.
So again,
Yeah.
recapping that, right? So what's
Sure,
the
sure.
point?
What
Again,
is the
you
point?
asked that, but what do you think is the point for this game?
The point of this, for me, is that it allows strangers to get together and very quickly realize, listen, you that said it, we're a family. Guys, we're a family now, right? We've got all these connections. We've got hobbies in common. We have pets in common. We have family in common. We have places we grew up in common. We have careers we've hated over the years in common. So you're immediately gelling with the people that you 2 seconds ago didn't know. So that's how I see it as an advantage. And it just helps kind of team cohesiveness, especially if you keep it up on a wall too. It really just reminds people, hey, don't forget we're family, right? Yeah. Cool. You guys gonna try this with your teams maybe? Or people or something? Church group?
A new team get together, perfect.
People on Metro? What's that?
A new team forming would be perfect.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. For sure. New team forming, changes in teams, absolutely. Cool. Even just like a retreat or something like that. We do stuff like this when our team gets off site and we make new connections as a result. Yeah.
So for the book club folks, since that was a significant number, every single time Geek Talk meets, we reintroduce ourselves, but in a different way. So we've said things like, if you were a monster, what would you be like? If you had a code name, what would be your code name, right? And so everybody introduces themselves and says their code name or whatever it is. So I think at our next Geek Talk, which is actually on Saturday, we're going to do this as a kind of a unique way to, because we always have like 1 or 2 new people. You don't want to do the same introductions because we know each other. 80%, 90% of people know each other. Anyway, even for teams that know each other well, it doesn't have to be a new team.
Yeah, stuff you don't realize or stuff you don't think to ask with the people you work with that you should know better or hope that you would know better. And then you find out stuff and you're like, we are strangers sitting next to each other this whole time.
And we might even have 2 connections. Right?
Or more, yeah, for sure. All right, so we're going to jump into another game called Unproblem. This game, I think it's on like page 80 or so of that book. It's real simple, and it helps you in solving problems or helping your team facilitate the solving of their own problems, especially when they're at wit's end and they've run out of ideas.
What does that mean? Unsolved?
Unproblem.
Unproblem. It's a number.
Yeah. Double check. Now that you've got it. Oh, the anti-problem, yeah. Sometimes I call it unproblem, anti-problem, yeah. Page 80, is that right? Okay, cool. You're not gonna be my glossary, you're my index. You're in the library. Yeah. But yeah, anti-problem. So here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to write down a problem that you're currently having, either at work or at home. The guilty can remain nameless. But, a problem that you're currently facing at home or at work. And if you've got multiple problems, put 1 problem per Post-it, right? Because we're going to solve one of these problems. We're going to solve world hunger tonight.
And you want text for this, not pictures or whatever.
Not pictures, I mean, unless it's like really visual and you want to draw a picture, you certainly can. It doesn't matter.
One of our children.
but a problem or several problems you're having at home or at work, one problem per Post-it. Thank you. My goodness, we have a lot of problems in this room. So many problems.
You want multiple problems per person or just one?
If you have multiple problems, let's just get it out there.
I can stick with just one.
We're gonna vote on which problems we want to solve. So if you've got multiple problems you want to put up for consideration to solve this evening, you are welcome to do so. What is it?
They have that same problem.
I vote for you, yeah. You got my vote.
Okay, so here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to bring all your problems. Bring Erica all your problems. Bring me all of your problems. And then I want you to tell people, give them some context as to what the problem is. Don't need to name names, but give us a little context when you put up your Post-it note as to what it is, what's going on.
Too much blaming and finger pointing. Do I need to give context?
All right, I like it.
Something less serious, but, you know, weeds, it's been raining a lot, so the weeds are growing in the mulch, so, you know, little home problems.
All right, I like it.
So my daughter's gonna be getting her license next week, so she needs a car.
Ooh.
I think that's an anti-problem. We can just say she doesn't.
Wouldn't you like to drive? Our dog has turned into quite the hunter and started eating the fledglings, eating baby birds. And speaking up at meetings when someone talks over me, and I'm just saying.
All right, and then if you got similar kinds of problems, kind of group them together, but they may be totally unique, so that's fine too.
I have one here. People on the team who basically won't speak, just incredibly quiet. Another one is a command and control executive who doesn't think he's controlling. That's what she's doing.
Oh, so not self-aware.
I got one tag on to that. My, in quotes, agile boss acts like a boss.
Yeah, that's about it, yeah.
So I think someone had an issue with rain, right? I have.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna attach this. So I can't just breathe, you know, I'm not familiar with this.
Yeah.
climate, it's too humid, so.
It's crazy.
It's my
I'm gonna add
problem.
one more if that's okay.
Yeah.
My 3-year-old throws temper tantrums, you know, like a 3-year-old.
We have a
Unsolvable.
10-year-old like that.
Okay. So this is, first world problem, but I said I want to generate $500,000 a year selling iOS apps. Right now, nowhere close. And then this is just I'm into true crime mysteries. So I don't know if any of you remember, but in the early 1980s, there was a Tylenol scandal where people died and everything. And if I could make the money, generating the money, selling the apps, I would like to investigate that. Yeah, it's kind of okay.
Cold cases.
Yeah, cold
Like the Golden
cases, for
State
sure.
Killer.
There you go,
Gosh,
yeah.
reading that book. It's
Make a TV show.
super scary.
So this kind of goes both at work and at home, maybe it's me. Different expectations or understanding for what it means to listen.
Ooh.
Mine was finding uninterrupted time to actually finish a task. This applies to work, I guess it could apply to home.
Yeah, that's tough.
So mine is getting past the Kubernetes networking error.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Getting past the Kubernetes networking error. It's like this open source technology that I'm using.
Oh, okay.
It kind of relates, my second one kind of relates to that, is meeting more people who are knowledgeable about a particular subject, like maybe Kubernetes. Because I don't have any, I work with that's knowledgeable about it, so maybe, yeah, maybe something.
So I wrote that I have a peer who's a nasty boss and steals my staff.
Steals your staff or
Steals my staff. Because everyone quits that person's team, and so then they have to, right? Come and steal people to be mean to, who then want to quit too. So.
Really interesting boss going on. Yeah, we got some boss problems.
Mine is related to the healthy eatings, every day I think, but I deviate, So whenever keep thinking, and I realize, the best thing is you have to cook in advance, but my cooking skills are very limited. So when you get hungry, whatever around, start eating. So this I'm struggling from a long time, hoping someday it will resolve. So it's better to bring it.
Matthias provided you with pizza.
Sorry. Mine is something to do with work again.
Okay.
And some people are thinking that I'm new to this company. So some people are thinking that they are doing real DevOps, but they do not know the meaning.
Everyone's got that problem.
Yeah, I like all the quotations, like agile. We're doing DevOps. Yeah, and because we call it that, we're doing it. I love that. That's so great. Cool. Is that everybody's problems? All right.
Is that all?
Is that? All right. So here's what I want you to do. And this kind of solves the problem about team members that won't speak up. I find that this happens at customer sites a lot. When we work with teams, there's usually folks that, we call them hogs or logs. They like hog all the air and all the conversation, or they sit like a log and don't say anything. And so I like to do a lot of dot voting, if you guys are familiar with that. And so what it does is it separates the person from the idea. So that's what we're gonna do now. So each person, you guys have a pen, some sort of thing to write with. I want you to vote on these ideas. So everybody gets 2 votes. You can put both votes onto one, or you can put 1 vote and 1 vote. And then whatever gets the highest number of votes, so vote wisely, we're gonna solve that problem tonight using the anti-problem. So come on up, check out the board, put your 2 votes on stuff.
Just check.
Yeah, you vote on which one you want to solve. I think I got my vote.
So you're putting 2.
Yeah, yeah, choice 1, choice 2. Any other mobile games? Or just yeah, is it just the free? Yeah. No. We're also just trying to get ideas. Yeah. No. Just-
Anyone for water? Water?
All right, everybody voted?
What extra water, anyone?
All right, so we've got 5 votes here. We've got 4 votes here. 4 votes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 votes here.
2 with 5?
We've got 2 with 5. Yeah, so.
Runoff.
We have a runoff. All right, so we want to solve the problem of we've got a daughter that needs a car, or teams thinking that they're DevOps when they really have no idea what that One more vote for everybody.
All those two?
Of those two.
Yeah, you just want to do like,
Sure.
Yeah, thumbs.
okay. So if you want to solve the car problem, it's already up here though, you guys.
All right.
If you want to solve the car problem, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We want to solve the, people are calling this place DevOps and they don't know what the heck they're talking about. Okay, we've got more votes on DevOps, so that is our problem.
And if we can solve that problem.
And we're gonna solve everything.
We're gonna have to make some money.
We're gonna make some money.
We're gonna solve the whole thing. All right, so,
And you get the first 500,000 from the money we make.
all right, so teams think that they are DevOps without really knowing what it is. So what is the opposite of that problem?
Okay. You got 5 minutes. Let's split it.
If you were to phrase in a short sentence, what is the opposite of that problem?
Oh, people doing
These who are
DevOps
doing
when
it,
they
really
don't.
know what it is.
Yeah, they don't even know they're doing it.
Are doing DevOps. Yeah?
And don't even know it.
And don't even know it.
I love that.
They're just awesome. Yeah? All right, so that now is our problem. People are doing DevOps, they don't even know that they are. So, how do we solve that problem? Here's what I want you guys to do. One idea.
It's not really a problem to solve that.
Yeah, actually, I can see several problems with
That
that
is a
problem.
problem to
It's
solve.
unconscious competence.
Yes. So, people are doing great things. They're doing exactly what we want them to do. They have no idea that they're doing it. So how do we get them to stop?
We recognize.
Define as
So without yelling out any ideas, here's what I want you guys to do. One idea per post-it. How do we fix that? People are doing good stuff. They don't even know it. How do we make them stop?
They should know why they're doing it.
Right down sticky.
Well,
So right on
can we
the sticky.
define the problem? Because there's actually two
Yeah.
aspects to that. There's the fact that they're doing it, and there's the fact that they don't know it.
Yes.
So there's two aspects. So
Yes.
which one are we focusing on? Are we
Yes.
whatever?
Yes.
Either one.
Okay.
They're doing really cool stuff. They're doing it. They don't even know they are. How do we fix that? We don't want them to be doing this anymore. So one idea per post-it. The crazier the idea, the better. So think silently to yourselves for about 2-3 minutes. Write as many solutions to this problem as you can, and then we're going to talk through it together. Is this making sense?
Yes.
It's kind of a silly problem. But let's say that that is the problem.
Erika,
Yeah.
you took my pen.
My pen. My pen. All right, fine, you can have it back.
I know, I'm the old Canadian.
Some up there. Alright. I got one more.
Actually, before you do that, let's just spend some time writing.
All right.
Spend some more time writing, and then we'll come up and we'll talk through what we came up with.
All right. You know what, I'm gonna take this one back. Oh, you're silly. I have to get over.
Actually, it's not the opposite. Teams are thinking they're doing DevOps, but they don't really know what it is. It sounds like they do kind of know what it is.
No, but the opposite is,
Well, add a dot to both here.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Let's just
Over
stick with this.
assessing themselves.
Yeah, sounds good.
package all of our organizations. So it's something others that realize that they're actually doing too much.
Sure.
Sure, okay. Would it help if he gave some examples of what he would like his people to be doing? What that would even looks like? If they are doing DevOps, what that would look like? No. Okay, good.
So that's his problem, not his unproblem.
But keep in mind, this is not the
Maybe
problem.
this is the problem.
This is exactly how it is.
But that's okay. We're solving this as the problem.
Alright.
About 30 more seconds. So come up with some other solutions to this problem.
Are there points for this?
I'll give you some gold stars.
I can just do that story.
That's something you have to be mindful of with games. If you make them competitive, then people lose the whole collaboration piece of it. Even with collaborative games, they're like, how do I win? How do I win? Do I beat someone?
Cooperative, which children can consider competitive.
Everybody got a good list? All right, so I want you guys to, kind of like you did here before, come up and give some context around your solutions, and then group similar solutions together. Yeah? All right, come on up. All right, so give us some context.
Okay, you win.
So, I think it would really solve their problem if they worked on a government project, because then
Yeah.
they would immediately realize that they're no longer doing DevOps, because there's all these, they're siloed and they're separated, and then they would realize what they were previously doing, so.
But then by then it's too late and it killed their spirit, which is awesome.
It's kind of funny.
So I'm being a little literal here. Recognize them for their great work so they will know, tell them, or just tell them they're doing DevOps. I guess these are kind of grouped.
Okay?
And then break the DevOps so that they'll appreciate what they have.
Ooh, I like that, so kind of along these lines, yeah. I'm gonna pull
Break,
away from the
I have a
others.
specific break. Make team hold all their changes until a certain arbitrary date.
Ooh, that's neat, I love it.
If I'm more about asking more questions, sort of maybe have them explain why they're doing what they're doing, or how they're doing it to make them realize what's going on, and maybe explain what they're doing. So, more questions.
I skip this side. Well, I'm agree with this, they have to figure out what is their problem. Because DevOps is more process, like, as we know that how we make development and operation, faster. So there's really no fixed formula. They have to understand what exactly they're doing, why they're doing, and then they try to map to some DevOps processes. So, well, I realize the sticky side.
We
is
can
then
tuck it behind one of these,
maybe
maybe.
like
Yeah.
this. But
There
I
we
think
go.
we will go with this.
Go down there, okay. Okay.
And then
Okay.
Okay, well, I had asked them to attend and offer them seminars and publicity on DevOps by real knowledgeable people. And this is write up a case study on the group.
So I think we should hire an agile coach. And then this actually goes with Matthias's, even though it's in some ways the opposite. I think maybe doing an IPO will, in many ways, give them the same sort of
And a spirit crushing.
spirit crushing that a government project
All
does.
right.
Yeah.
I like it. These are excellent.
Alright, so what I would do is explain them what DevOps is in pure sense, and then ask them questions, basically assessing them, and then like they realize that they are truly doing DevOps. without knowing.
What are you like? Over here, down there, yeah.
Mine kind of agrees with what he was saying. I said you define a clear line between what DevOps is and isn't based on your knowledge of that and kind of explain it to him. So,
I have give awards for excellent doing of DevOps.
Ooh.
What was that?
Actually, that's a really great one.
Give awards for excellent doing of DevOps. Trophies, for example. Regulation.
Oh, yes, crushing their spirits.
And mandate waterfall.
Oh,
Like go all
right.
the way the other way.
Yes. Good stuff.
Okay, mine was basically videotape the people doing the DevOps the inappropriate way, then basically show it to their kids, basically saying by doing this you're killing puppies. That would get them to stop, I think. You said ridiculous.
Yeah, good puppy deaths, I love it.
So I already put one up here, and another one goes along with this, define what they're doing, and then another one was to change the name of DevOps to something else.
Oh, I like that one.
Anybody have other ideas? Cool, so this one was a little bit tricky because we had like 2 parts and a double negative and all that kind of stuff. So some of us were sort of solving the real problem, but also solving the anti-problem. What did you guys take away from this? Thoughts, ideas?
Well, I was thinking that we were, right, that the course we would follow would be to solve the opposite problem and then reverse the statements for how we were going to solve the opposite problem and then see if they would lend themselves to solving the original problem.
Why you have to do the two-step process? Why can't you directly solve it?
Well, because it abstracts it, right?
Right.
It does. So what the intent of this was to do, and you can use this for any of these problems on this anti-problem board. You honestly can. If you solve the opposite of the problem, then you do exactly what you're saying. Then you flip it. Yeah, you flip it back, and you're solving the actual problem. But by solving I'm confusing myself now. If you solve the opposite of the problem, it allows you to kind of turn it on its side and go deeper and do it in kind of a silly way. But you're actually coming up with potential ideas to solve the real thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, you may look at this and say, are we doing this to any of our people? Do we have regulations or stupid rules that we're forcing our people to abide by, or we're teaching them that is contrary to what we want them to actually do? Does that make sense?
Yes.
What about over here? You guys are saying, let's teach them what DevOps is. I mean, that kind of partially may solve this problem, but if they're already doing it, do we need
They're doing it, but they don't know that yet. They don't know what it is. That's why they don't know.
I like this creative thinking, and one of the things that our friend Josh Seckel pointed out to me very early on, it's like a decade ago. It's like, I don't care if you call it Agile, call it George, as long as it's got fast feedback loops and prioritization, let's do that. So forget all the rules that you've heard about Scrum and Agile. What gets us fast feedback loops and prioritization? So I like the idea of let's do the opposite of naming it.
Yeah. Does that make sense? We don't have to train people that you're doing DevOps. Even here, you don't have to go, we want you to do DevOps. You can frame it, it's called hiding the peas in the potatoes. You don't have to say DevOps ever. Say, let's experiment, let's try this.
Yeah.
Let's not even use the words, who cares? But if we're getting better, if we're getting what we want out of it, then isn't that the whole goal? Because then when you do this, then people become DevOps police or Agile police or any of that. Well, you're not doing DevOps the way that it's supposed to be. Well, maybe what you're doing in this organization is working really well. So let's not focus on that. Let's focus on what we want to get out of how we work. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Kind of along those lines.
And so by doing this, you're actually showing the real value, which is it changes, this all is great idea generation, and then the next iteration is having this conversation. Well, actually, does this even really matter? And then why does it not really matter, right?
Are we doing things that are making this worse? but you're able to have that conversation in a different way.
Right. And no one's being lectured to.
Yeah. The other thing I had you guys do was to write one idea per post-it by yourselves. Because what ends up happening is when you get together as a group and you say, what are all the things we're doing wrong? You come up with just a few ideas. Here you come up with a lot of ideas. And some of them may work, some of them may not work. But you just get a higher volume of ideas than you otherwise
Yeah,
would.
well, I would like to at least ask from him, are they sure why they are doing it? Are they, do they know why they are doing it? What's their goal? Or they just doing because they have to do the DevOps? Because someone told them the hierarchy, hey, we need a DevOps.
As Erika said, they don't know the word DevOps.
That's fine.
So they are doing some good practices. For what? Continuous integration, continuous delivery, maybe a test automation, whatever. They are doing some good practices without knowing that forms a DevOps.
That's good. That's what.
No, this is in the old, this is in the on-prem, is what you're describing, right? Now and what you're
So it sounds like
describing.
in real life, they are doing some good
It looks
things.
like they're doing
Or are you
things.
No, no,
saying,
no, no.
the
No,
anti-problem is they're doing good things?
Anti-problem.
Okay, now I'm
Anti-problem.
following you. Got it, yeah,
And head problem.
yeah.
So I'm sorry, so they are doing continuous integration other than what's the problem?
The anti-problem is doing.
He said they're not in real life.
In
in
real life,
this
they're not doing
case,
it.
they-
I think they are.
He's asking,
Yeah.
what about the real problem?
The real
original
problem is,
right?
they do development,
Right.
and they're also responsible for putting it into production. So they are thinking, oh, we are also operations, we are also development. So we are a DevOps.
Well, they don't know.
They don't know what it is.
Anything there. Because they are putting in the operations, they're putting the development, but they're not making faster with some.
No, they don't have a concept of DevOps at all, but they are only thinking, I'm doing development, I'm also doing operations, I'm DevOps.
Do they experience any pain in their world?
I'm just new there, so I don't know.
Find out what their pains are. That'll
What
help
we
you.
Yeah.
were saying is, say to them, why do you think you're doing DevOps? What is the value of DevOps, right? Pretend we're calling it George. What are the values of George that we want to get out that will help us be better developers and whatnot? What are the attributes there? Oh, well, one of the things is we'll develop faster. Okay,
Yeah.
let's start doing things that help us develop faster, release faster, right? Don't call it DevOps.
Absolutely. That's my point. If they are taking too long for the releases or testing too long, then they have to look for how they can make it faster and reduce the time.
But
If they
that's
not have
value.
that problem, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's what I, find out what their pains are. And then lead them to DevOps as the solution.
Maybe they don't need it DevOps at all. Looks like they're doing everything like development and operations. So they have to figure out what is their pain area. And do they really want to solve them? Then the solution comes.
I have a colleague that would go to her boss and say, okay, well, according to best practice, we should do this, this, this. And he was like, ugh, not interested. And then she'd say, oh, I have this idea, we should just experiment with this. And he's like, okay. And it worked, and they got better as an organization. He's like, you're brilliant. And I think she ended up getting like some awards in her company, never used any buzzwords, no terminology, nothing.
Right.
And got far further than,
Yeah.
you know, if you use buzzwords.
Alexander, go ahead.
No, that's fine. Especially the top bosses, they don't like the buzzword they say. They say, okay, what you can improve? Can you make fast? Can you fix this? Good.
Yeah.
And if you just say, oh, we want to do DevOps, say, what is this? Why want to do it?
Derek Hunter's a guy in Maryland, and his big thing is like he doesn't tell anybody he's an Agile coach or Scrum or anything. He just shows up and says, okay, I've been hired to help you out. We're going to start off with doing iterative meetings. I just want you to know when the meeting's going to be. So we're going to do it on a recurring basis, 2 weeks, right? Every 2 weeks, same place, same time, that way you just know where to show up. And then the second meeting, he says, what's been going wrong the past, 2 weeks, right? So he starts doing retrospectives, but doesn't call them retrospectives. And then through that, by doing retrospectives every 2 weeks, all the other Agile things come out. And he says he like 6 months down the road, but they're like, I heard about this thing called Agile or Scrum, and it sounds like they do a lot of things we're doing.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, you've been doing it for 6 months. You just didn't know. That's
Still,
kind of fantastic. Other thoughts, applications, aha moments?
A lot of this is
Something like
about
this?
transparent communication. And so that's, kind of always a good solution if they think they're doing DevOps and they don't know it. Then transparent communication about what they're doing and what they're not doing.
Right.
Hiring an agile coach is always a good idea.
But yeah, you could do the same thing with them and say, okay, what are all the problems that you guys are facing? Let's solve some of those problems and just help facilitate them answering their own questions or their own challenges.
So it sounds like the 4 central themes here is like freedom, restraints and freedoms, education, and kind of learning.
But also not killing them with education and labels and
Right.
have to call it something.
Yeah, kind of investigation, I would say. And then this is kind of reflection, like have them, explain, reflect on what it is they're doing. And then this one is kind of a little bit experimentation, I would say. Or do something and then see what the effect is.
That's all I've got. If you guys have other questions, I'm happy to talk through them, but thank you so much. Was this valuable? Was it helpful? Cool. I will also send you guys an email. I'll gather all this together and send you guys an email with a bunch of resources and things I think are awesome and fun. And if you guys have questions or you're getting stuck on stuff, I'm happy to give recommendations. Yeah,
Maybe instead of an email, can you post it in the meetup group?
I can do that too. Yes, or instead, yes, whatever.
What post her email?
She said she's gonna give
Resources
links
and
and resources and
Oh,
things.
yeah.
like
Yeah.
Oh,
David
sure.
Gray's
You can
book and
comment
stuff
on
like
that.
that. I mean, I already put it on my Amazon list, but the point is,
Happy to do so.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the more you can get people drawing too, we didn't draw here, but we did there. I find that when you draw, it just kind of, even if people are terrible drawers and sometimes they'll dig in and say, oh God, I don't like drawing. They still enjoy the process of problem solving more. And visually it gives you more ideas and kind of opens up worlds that wouldn't otherwise do with just words, so. Cool. Well, thank you guys and gals.
Thank you.